Hi, hello. In this session, we're going to have a very informal introduction to Python. Let's get into interactive prompt. Type Python to get into interactive prompt. So now you are into that interactive prompt. Now first we'll start with comments. In Python, we will use hash to generate comments. For example, if you want to comment any line, just in the beginning of the line, add hash. For example, hash, this is commented. Now, this is considered as a comment. It will not be executed, right? So now, for example, I'm going to add a statement, print 1, and after this, I'm going to add a comment. This is also allowed. Now it executes print 1 but ignores the later part which starts after hash. But remember one thing, if it is part of the string, that is either within the double quotes or within the single quotes, it will be ignored. For example, the hash is inside the double quotes, so it considered as a string. The hash is part of the string, so this will not be considered as a comment. Let's try some simple Python commands. We'll start with numbers. So this interpret acts as a simple calculator. You can just use any arithmetic operators and numbers and it calculates and gives the results. For example, 2 plus 3, 5, right? 50 minus 25, 25, and 5 by 4, 1.25. Right? Similarly, you can use parentheses, 34 minus 20 by 12. Right? Now, anything you use like division. So if you use division operator, it gives you a floating number. It is not an integer. If you want to have an integer with a division, then you have to use double slash operator. For example, 8 double slash 5 will give you an integer. This is called floor division. If you want a remainder, you can use percentage. For example, 8 by 8 percentage 5 will give you the remainder. So now what happens if I use asterisk? 8 asterisk 5. It gives the multiplication. What happens if I use double asterisk? 8 double asterisk 2. It acts as a power functionality. 8 to the power of 2. It's 8 square. For example, 8 double asterisk 3 will make it 8 to the power of 3. So double hash will act as a power functionality in the mathematics. So now let's talk about equals. Now the equal sign is used to assign a value to a variable. For example, if you want to define test equal to 2, now 2 has been assigned to test variable. Now let's define another variable, test1, and let's have an arithmetic operation, 10 into 5. Now test will be assigned the product of 10 and 5. Test 1, if you say, it gives you the product. The variable is storing the result of the arithmetic operation. So now let's talk about string. So a string is a set of characters. Anything either starts with double quotes, anything in between double quotes or single quotes. For example, if you say ABC, this is string, the same thing you can represent with single quotes. So both are same. Now you can assign these to any variable. For example, str equal to ABC. Now if you say str, it gives you the ABC. So now the string, to represent a string, you can use either double quotes or single quotes. So now what if you are using double quotes to represent a string and if you want to add a single quote in it? So no problem. For example, let's define str once again with double quotes. Hey, how are you? And for example, let's say there is something with a single quote. Now let's print. It will be taken care. Similarly, if you want to include a double quote within a single quote, there won't be any issue. Str equal to hi, I'm good. Now let's put I'm good inside double quotes and let's print. It's considered. The double quote is considered as a part of the string, right? What if I want to use double quotes within a string which is enclosed within double quotes, right? We need to use escape sequence. The backslash will be used for escape sequence. Now let's see. str equal to hi backslash double quote I'm good, then again backslash double quote. Now if you print, it gives you I'm good. Same thing applies in case if you want to use single quote within a string which is in between single quotes. Now print is a method which will print the value on the console. For example, print the parenthesis, you can give any value. Hi, hello, right? It prints it on the console. So not only string, it prints any type here. Integers, float, string, list, various things it can print on the console. Now let's look into the list. Like other languages, list also a simple data structure where it stores sequence of elements. The list of elements. Now how can we represent it? LST equal to, LST is a variable here. You can have the braces and you can define your elements 1, 3, 5, 4, 7, 8. Now just print it, LST, it gives you the values. Now to access the elements, you can use the index. Index always starts from 0. Now use LST and specify index, the braces, that gives you the first element. If you want the element at the third index, LST give 3, it gives you the element at third index. Remember that the index starts with 0, so it's a fourth number, but index is 3. It also supports negative numbers in the index. Let's see what it is going to return if we add a negative number. Let's say -1. LST -1. It is giving us the last number. What happens if I give LST -2? It gives last but 1. So if you start using negative numbers, it will give you the elements of the list in the reverse order. Right? Now let's understand slice operation. Now rather than getting entire list, you can also specify a range using slice operator. For example, when you say LST, it gives you the entire list. For example, if you say LST starts with 1 and index 1 and end with index 4. Now it gives you elements starting with 1 just before index 4. Now for example here it is 3, 5, 4. So remember that it's always n-1 in the second part. For example, if we say index 4, it returns till index 3 and ignores the last one. If you want to get from the beginning, you can say you can ignore the starting one, the first portion. It considers from index 0 and you can say till index 4. Now it returns you from start to till the index 3. Now if the same thing applies in a reverse way also, LST, and say from index 3 till end, it returns you the result sublist based on your request. You can also sum two lists. Let's say what happens, LST plus 4, 5, 1. Let's see that. So the second one added to the first one, right? So the indexing also allows you to access elements and at the same time replace also. For example, LST index 0 replace with 100. Now let's print. Yep, it's the index 0 is replaced with 100. So now let's jump into simple programming. Let's start with a while loop. Simple Fibonacci series. Let's initialize two variables a comma b equal to 0 comma 1 and while a less than 10, print a comma b equal to b comma a plus b. So now it gives you the Fibonacci series. So now this is a very brief introduction about Python, and in the coming sessions we are going to have more in detailed topic based sessions. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel.